Hello, everyone. My name is Christian, and today I'm going to be reviewing this book here called Between Two Fires by Christopher Buehlman. This is a recent novel that came out, I think, last year, and this is a horror novel. I was told, or at least I interpreted it to be a fantasy book. It is not a fantasy book, although this is the same author who did Black Tongue Thief, which I really enjoyed, the audiobook. I didn't read it physically like this book. Maybe that might have made a difference, but overall, I was pretty happy with this book. But again, I thought it was a fantasy. I thought, because the story of this book is basically the Black Plague, but monsters are real and angels are real, demons are real, and you have this knight who is going through Paris, or not Paris, but France, and he is trying to sort of figure out what's going on. And he finds a girl who is trying to get to Rome, trying to get to the city of the Pope. And she gets under his care, and they're going through the land, and they see a lot of spooky things, a lot of horror kind of stuff, a lot of kind of crusade type of activity also, with humans sort of going through and accusing other people of being heathens and heretics. And you also have people going against each other and trying to help each other, but also being completely ambivalent to other people also, because this was a time just like during when we had COVID, when we were having a massive plague, not as massive as the Black Plague, obviously, but uh, this was a very kind of scary time. And I think Christopher Buehlman perfectly illustrates that. I think his descriptions are even better in this book than Black Tongue Thief. I don't know, because this was a earlier novel of his that he wrote that he was able to republish under Toy last year, I believe. And so I don't know if he did any more editing after finishing the book, like in between the first time it got published and this one. But I feel like he really kind of upgraded his prose reading this book. I thought it was a much easier read than Black Tongue Thief. I thought the dialogue was not as good in this book as Black Tongue Thief. I think that was the big highlight for me for that book, was the dialogue and sort of the banter between the two. This is not a funny novel at all compared to Black Tongue Thief, so I think the change in tone was hard for me too. But I really enjoyed sort of the horror sequences. I'm a horror movie guy. At my old apartment, I had tons of posters hanging around me that was in my videos. And so reading those parts was so exciting for me. I really enjoyed reading the descriptions of the different monsters that were coming out in the Black Plague and sort of killing people and eating people and like all this stuff. Like, I love that kind of stuff. I love monsters. I love sort of these horrific, sort of scenes, because I'm a big John Carpenter guy. I love sci-fi horror a lot. And this book isn't sci-fi, of course, but it has a lot of sort of Lovecraftian type of creatures in it, which I really enjoy. I love that kind of stuff. So overall, I was really positive about this book. The characters, I just did not really get invested in, I'll be honest. The characters I didn't care about really for most of the book. I would say the knight I cared about a little bit. But in terms of everyone else, I mean, they were just all pretty. They just felt like they were fine for the story. They served the story well. They kind of allowed it to continue, and otherwise, I just did not get much out of the characters. The setting was great. I felt it's 1400s or 1400s France, or I can't even remember the time period, but um, it's medieval times, so whenever centuries that covers. But yeah, overall, I think this is a very fine book. I would give it a 6.5 out of 10. I enjoyed it. I think it's fun. I think it's worth reading. I think other people will enjoy it a lot more than I did, because I did think going in that it was going to be a lot more fantasy heavy. I didn't think it would be so real world focused. And if I'd known that beforehand, I think my expectations would have been more in line with what the book delivered on. So I think my rating would have been higher, but I think other people will enjoy this. I think for my own rating, it is 6.5 out of 10. I think for others, it'll be like an 8 out of 10, maybe even higher. I don't know. But I think other people will really enjoy this. This is a huge book right now on YouTube and Instagram and all those different medias. But I enjoyed it. I love the cover. I love the colors. I love the splayed edges on the pages. But otherwise, I don't know. I doubt I will ever read this again. I think I will. I want to keep it because of the because of the artwork, but I don't know if I want to keep it overall. I think I will trade it in, get some trading credit out of this, because as much as I enjoyed it, I'm never going to read this again. Maybe I'll give it as a gift to a friend. I think that's what I'll do, because I think there are friends of mine who will enjoy this more than I will. But yeah, that's all for today. Thank you all so much for watching, and please have a great rest of the day.